So, gang, as you can see from the intro, the stadium is being built. Shout out to Rick, who puts those intros together for me. There's a link in the description. Anyone interested in those sort of graphics, he's your man. But let's focus then upon the Thames FC journey that we've been embarking on. We've played a couple of games this season, and because last season was not too dissimilar from seasons before, we're going to go through this one at a slightly quicker pace, just so we can progress the story of Thames and hopefully get ourselves towards European football. And to do that, of course, some additions have been made, some sales have gone on as well. We've sold a player for £25 million. Do you want to guess who it is? Correct. And I'm just not going to reveal it. The mystery continues. Now I'll show you. That man is Pierre Sommer, who has gone off to Standard Liège in Belgium, and I suspect he'll have a really good time. 3 and 4 already for him this season. We bought him for £7 million from Kaiserslautern. He was okay when he played for me, not a massively consistent player, and that was my main issue with Sommer. Lots of people said he was a great player to have around. He could play on the wing, he could play up front, but for me, it just didn't have that level of consistency that I want from either a striker or a winger. Franklin offers me that, Ben Hur offers me that, and Obranek offers me that, more so than Pierre Sommer ever really did. So we're gonna move him on. A good player for a short time, £25 million. I think we've done pretty well for him. He's a top player, but again, lack that level of consistency. It even says there consistently, fairly inconsistent player, which makes sense. Another big sale we had this summer was Kasper. He's been in the club for a little while now. We brought him in for £1.3 million. I actually thought we would have sold him a couple of years ago, but it never seemed to work out. Played very little for me last year. To get £9.7 million up front, potentially rising to £14 million, I think is rather good. Kasper moves on then, and actually with that, we're going to remove his nickname. Kasper is now going to be back to being Kasper Elmsvag. That's why we gave him the nickname. And the final man to leave for money was Toby Breach, brought in as potentially a first choice, but it never really worked out. 2.1 million was brought in for, played 7 games in the Premier League. Not that good, but a good backup right back if ever called upon. And Leicester have taken him off me for £1 million, which I think is all right, really. Other outs include Matthew Hutchinson, who's gone on loan to Reading. Ronaldo Skeet has moved on loan to Sheffield Wednesday after a very good campaign with Wigan last season. And one of my Romanians, Silviu Mutiu, has gone as well, the centre back. You might come back a holding man and actually play for me next season. I've done a movement. So those are the majority of the outs. Let's now focus then on the ins. So there's one man who I've been chasing for about 5 years. That's right. We'll kick things off with my little libero friend, Frank Oriolana. Frank. I very much I like his surname, Oriolana. Frank. I practiced saying it 5 minutes ago loads of times. Got it spot on. Can't do it now. Pressure's on. But here's Franklin, the Chilean, which I love. Comes in as a libero. He played the first game of the season and got injured. Devastated you can't see him today. Now, there's 2 things you can do with Frank. You can either play him as that libero, but I want him to be a whole new Frank. I want him to become an anchor man in this role. Hopefully, there's no way to highlight this, is there? There is a way, hang on. So you can see from the highlighted attributes, Frank as a libero would be fantastic, but Frank as an anchor man, sitting just in front of the back 4, could potentially be fantastic. Physicals are to die for. Mentals are extremely good. That teamwork, positioning, work rate, determination, anticipation, and I'll tell you what, tackling, marking and passing to be very proud of. And not only this, he can play at centre-back as well, so if we need him there, we can do. The only thing, though, for me is that he's 5'9". It's not the best place for him to be, but covering around the back of defenders, being in front of them, marshalling that back 4 and sort of pushing them out, allowing fullbacks to push on, that could be his role. So we're training him to play as an anchorman. He's also going to play as a libero when called upon. It sort of depends on the teams we play. But so far, so good. And I very much like his inclusion. It's a shame that today you won't see him because he's injured. But for 4.9 million, I just realised I didn't actually highlight the fact it was 4.9 million for that. Yes. We've done well. Already worth 19, 60 grand a week. I just think he's fantastic. This just warms my heart. Backup centre-back's been brought in. You've just seen one of the Romanians has gone off, so we've had to bring in someone new. And Robbie Edmund, a man that has been a pivotal part of the success of Thames in recent times. Still got good tackling on him. Mentals are pretty good. Physicals, he's a 2.5 star current ability player if you believe the star ratings, which I sometimes do, sometimes don't. If his marking and heading go up to 14s and he's still got a little time to do that, then I'll be quite happy with him. Of course, spent 4 years here at the Championship, got us into the Premier League, and then West Brom went, no, we'll have him, and then did nothing with him. Sent him on to Burnley last season where he was okay, 8 assists to his name, weirdly. So we've got him back. Backup player, really, but 5.25 billion, quite a hefty investment too, but English, so that's why that happens. Okay, let's go over to Marseille. We've bought a player from Marseille. They're very kindly, after taking Walter Wink off me, they're allowing me Maxime Herzog. Herzog. I love that. The Frenchman, capped at the 21 level, has been brought into playing that position behind the striker, which curiously, we are playing currently, but with Frank playing, we don't play. It's kind of strange. But we've had some levels of success with it as well. You can see they're mentally pretty solid. Great technique on him, but pacey moving forward with the ball. Again, if some of these 14s can change into 15s, then we'll have a very good player on our hand. And it's still got a little bit of time to grow at 24. Not a massive amount, no. So this might be close to the finished article. 12.25 million, quite a hefty outlay for him, but you can already see he's valued a little higher, 60 grand a week. We just didn't have a player like this. Of course, we had Brito last year, who's gone back from his loan spell, so we don't have him anymore. We have Dominic Williams, and I feel similar to him as I do with Sommer a little bit. There's that inconsistency that worries me. Herzog hopefully will come in and be a star. You can see so far one game, one goal, and a player of the match award for him as well. So far started brilliantly to his Thames career. You'll see him later on. And there's 2 more players we've brought in. That's right, only 2 more players. With Toby Breach leaving, it meant we had to bring in another right back. So Battisti Weiss, I think it says Weiss. Baptisti Weiss, that'll do. Again, French international, this guy, 24 years of age, and I think for the price we've paid at 6.25 million, they've spent loads of time out on loan at other places. PSG have gone, yeah, go on then. So we have done 6.25 million, as the backup probably, but can also play as the first choice. It's between him and Ike really to see who nails down that role going forward. I think we've got ourselves a good backup at the very least, but still could play as a starter as well. Happy with the addition. And then finally, and when I say finally, there were some people going, is that Frank? Remember Frank, he's good. If Frank was worth 30 million, you'd be loving it. But Simon Radis, Simon Radis, I think is probably how you say it, Italian, again, under 21 international, banged goals in at that level. 23 now, never really got the breaks at Inter to be a significant player for them, but 9.5 million the fee. And I think you'll agree with Sommer leaving, we need to get another probably striker in who could play in the wider areas as well. And this is the man we've got. Very high determination, fantastic physical ability, finishing, dribbling and first touch could all improve for me, and hopefully will do over the coming season. Great work, great technique, fantastic long shots. He's got great anticipation and aggressive too, which I quite like actually. I think we've done rather well. Let's say 9.5 million. We've got ourselves a good second to third choice striker. Him and Obrenek, of course, will rotate. Anything to do with Ben-Hur as well. If he plays well, he stays in the team. If he plays badly, he doesn't. And speaking of Ben-Hur, time for an update. Before we do that though, let's just quickly note that £36 million brought in, £38 million spent. And yeah, we've done okay. A lot of people were requesting again that we do a stream transfer window. It just wasn't that. I got halfway through and I thought, this is not stream worthy. It just wasn't as interesting as maybe you would have liked. So I left it this time around. Maybe next time though. If you get into Europe, I think then that could be an interesting stream. We've not done one for a while, so keep an eye out for that. Maybe even the January actually. Speaking of that, because we've got 37 million still to spend, and I suspect if we're doing well, the board will give us even more. Now, I did say we would mention and go over to Ben-Hur. So let's talk about Mr. Ben-Hur, who of course has joined Thames and is loving. No, he's not. He's furious again, isn't he? He wants to leave to play Champions League football. Although when he joined, he knew that he wouldn't have Champions League football, and he probably knew we probably wouldn't qualify for Champions League football. But he wants Champions League football, and I can't offer him Champions League football. Ben-Hur wants Champions League football. It's a problem. So without European football this year, he's just going to have to lump it, I guess. I did promise him he'd be sold. The time was gone now. There's no time for that, so he stays with me. That said, actually, a foreign team could come in and pitch if they want to, but for £81 million in his contract, fill your boots. Fill your boots. If it means to play Obrenek all season, whatever. He's on 105 grand a week as well. That damn yearly wage rise. And there you can see then, the team is looking pretty good. I did tweet out a picture, so I should clarify this really, that Pierre was subject to a massive bid, a £40 million bid, 20 million up front, and then loads of clauses as well from Sunderland, who seems to keep being interested in him. And I think when you look at his attributes, you would sell him, right? But if we're to progress into Europe, we need some homegrown players, and Pierre is the best of the bunch, and he's going to stay with us this season. We still have Casemiro, but this is the make or break year for me with Pierre. He needs to step up. These 13s and whatnot, 11s, 12s, they need to change, and they need to start progressing a lot quicker. He's down as a wonder kid. He needs to start being a little bit more wonderful. But overall, team-wise, with some potential we've got in there, you can see Obrenek is still one of our most hotly rated players. Hudlin is still here too. Ben-Hur, Antonio, hopefully this will be a big season for him. If he can progress, he could be a fantastic defender. We saw a good spell out of him last year. This is a key time for me, though. If he plays well this year, in that centre-back role, nails it down, we could have quite the player on our hands, but we're still sort of waiting to see that as well. It's a very crucial year for quite a few players in this squad to whether they're going to remain with us in the future. Insigne's one of those. De Bosch is one of those. Even someone like Velasco is one of those who's currently club captain after taking over from Oscar Rowney, who, in my opinion, has kind of seen his position move to very much a backup role, so he's not involved quite as much. Whereas Jimenez and Velasco, they play a little more, and they're sort of the leaders of that midfield now. So system-wise, you'll note then I was mentioning the fact we've got an anchorman or we've got a libero playing in here when Frank is available. Sadly, right now he's not available, but I'm going to trust Velasco in the role. I played him in the League Cup recently. I'll show you the results in just a moment, and he played very well there. So we're going to stick him in there once again with Haludum and Jimenez either side. We've got Van der Bosch and Franklin in those forward areas with Ben-Hur, of course. Lots of space to manoeuvre. He likes to drop deep and allow other players to come into play. Jimenez probably going to be the key one in that box-to-box role. Pierre, Insigne, Antonio and Ike are our back four, and Ortiz keeps his place in goal. This is again, I'm very much a make or break season for him. Have a good year, and he'll stay here for a little longer. If not, a replacement comes in, he becomes the backup, and the likelihood is that Tom Gray will leave the team. So he's getting a little bit old now. He's got 1 year left on his contract, and it's a big contract, but he's great to have around the place. Don't ever underestimate Tom Gray's likability factor. Right, and Arbanek is going to come onto the bench instead of Bob for this one. I've got a very strong bench these days. Very much enjoy what it looks like. Our police is currently out injured, though, as is Frank and Oscar Rowney. And some of those boys actually would be on the bench for this one. And I'll say Frank would probably be starting. But this is the lineup then. I've talked you through it. Let's get into the game. But before we do that, sorry about this, folks. Let's see what we've done so far. So, 3 games played. Very successful friendly competition. Beat Atletico Madrid in the friendlies. And 2 quite comical, really. 1-0 wins. Both with added time in the first half goals. You can see Herzog and Franklin getting those. So, wins over Tottenham and Wolves. Very impressive start to the season. And then away 2-1 victory against Brentford, in which we actually went a goal behind, but Radis and Ben-Hur got us back on track, and we saw that game out pretty comfortably. Stoke today then at Selhurst Park, as the Riverbank is still being completed, and let's get into it. I feel like that was quite a concise roundup of the summer there. Quite enjoyed that. My presentation skills were on point there. I'm very proud of myself. We are definitely recording, because that'd be classic Ben. That would. Okay, then they're playing a 4-4-2 system, our Stoke, whereas of course we're going with our more traditional 4-3-3 kind of system. And yeah, I did mention today that we'd probably be seeing Herzog, but no, we're going with Velasco in this one. It was 50-50. There's a temptation to watch this in 3D. I've been watching the games in 3D recently. Let's give it a go. Well, just for this one game. As you see there, that the boy's walking out. That manager's got his legs in between a board. You see there in my lovely blue jacket, looking good. And the games get underway then. Yeah, we'll go for 3D for a game. Why not? Let's enjoy ourselves. Plus, you get to see how these boys look when they play for the first time in a very long time. All right, so after such a good start to the season, we're hoping to continue that today. Although with 2 very close victories, we shouldn't maybe expect too much, as it is Stoke that come away with the ball at the start of this half. As Navarro makes his way forward, chips it into Carvalho, played across, and goal, Stoke, 7 minutes in, Milan just scored. Their fans go wild. I don't need a 3D replay. I've had all the 3 dimensions I could possibly desire. Well, that's annoying. It's not the start I wanted, if I'm being completely honest. Throw in though, over on that side, and Haludum's on it. Van den Bosch plays it inside. Ben-Hur gets on it, drops a little deeper as we've seen before. Franklin on the volley, and a good save by the Stoke goalkeeper. I'm pining after 2D here, as there's a throw-in again on that far side. Stoke with it. Van den Bosch, I don't know what he's done, but that player has fallen onto the ground like a stone had been dropped onto the floor. As Navarro now intercepted. Ike's doing his best to stop the ball coming in. It goes to the walls of that post though. Carvalho on the volley, and we're getting our pushed in. So this is not going well. We're going back to 2D. That's what I think that will change it. Well, so far this has been the worst start ever. So that's good. Alright, another highlight as Van den Bosch nabs it off his counterpart out on that side. And we need a goal quickly. We're still sort of in a standard setup. So hopefully we're relying on the likes of Ben-Hur here to produce a little bit of magic. Jimenez looks for Pierre on that side. So if he puts the ball into the middle, could cause a bit of danger. Finds Jimenez inside to Haludum there. And Ben-Hur finally gets on the ball. You can see he loves to come deeper to get it and then make that forward movement. Ben-Hur, great finish. 2-1. The game's... It's 2D, I tell you. It's the 2D magic. It's like they can't handle being looked at, you know. They're a bit shy, bless them. Great link-up play by Ben-Hur. Comes short, works it nicely, and then hangs on that last man. Touch out his feet. Great finish. All right, another goal before half-time wouldn't go amiss. As Jimenez free kick goes about a mile over, it felt like. Free kick to Stoke, though. Plays Carvalho on the edge of the box. Ortiz claims it well. Was that the highlight, or will there be a counter-attack here? We've got, on the left-hand side, there's a man free. Jimenez knocks it onto Van den Bosch, and actually, that's the position in which we've worked it to. Ben-Hur front post. We've seen it a million, thousand, hundred million, billion times. Ben-Hur makes it 2-2, and the comeback in the beautiful 2D is complete. Never playing in 3D ever again. If we look at the replay, though, it looks like a whole new team when you look at them once again. Van den Bosch on that side, and you almost know, don't you, that Ben-Hur is always going to get there first and put it into the back of the net, and he does. 2-2, back on level terms. We're looking good all of a sudden. It's a Stoke throw. Are they gonna ruin everything? Are they? A chance potentially. Carvalho, we're trying to stop him. Navarro, this is dangerous. Ball in, and well, Well, it was a good comeback while it was a comeback. Maybe we're only good from 2 goals behind. That's a problem. All a little bit too simple, if you ask me. But a game of 5 goals in the first half. Drama. All right, I'm going to say, I'm going to get aggressive, actually, because it wasn't that good. Expect to see a much better showing in the second half, and we're going to make a change. Velasco's going to step out. Herzog's going to come in as an attacking midfielder on attack. That's right, he doesn't mess about. Had a great game in the game he played before, so let's see if he can put in a similar performance today. There's going to have to be plenty more goals in this game if we're going to get something from it. Franklin has picked up a knock as well, which is not ideal. Obranek is probably the most likely player to replace him. If anyone, his crossing's decent. He's got good finishing ability. As the free kicks put in, we are not good from free kicks. I don't think you could find an episode in which we've scored one. I mean, I wish you luck. All right, I tried to change it, and then it stopped, and maybe do it again. Obranek comes on that right-hand side. Navarro for Stoke as well. It's just about cleared. And Ortiz now back to Ike, and hopefully we're going to build this from the back, and it's going to be very pretty. Well, no, not at all. Ike launches it to Ben-Hur. He makes his way into the area. Cuts back. No, it's tackled. Obranek makes his way over there, though. The crossing is decent. Herzog's there. He's hit the bar as his shot comes in. It's not... Oh, how was it not gone in? We've done everything there, apart from score. Another chance, though. Ike into Haludum, and suddenly we look like the better team as the ball's played into the centre. Ben-Hur knocks it down. Jimenez is there. Back to Ben-Hur, who's looking like an absolute terror for Stoke right now. Played into Van den Bosch. Great team. It's not a goal. I can't believe we're not winning this. They've had 4 shots, scored 3 goals. Corners played in. I expect very little to come from it. A shot maybe from distance. Again, a wide off the mark. 16 shots. Come on, boys. I'd go attacking, but there literally doesn't seem to be a need. Jimenez down to Ben-Hur as Thames continue to pile on the pressure. Could this be a memorable start to the season? Of course, we've already played a few games, but for you, this is the beginning as Herzog finds the back of the net. 3-3, back on level terms. They're probably going to score again. More possession from Thames. A really dominant display aside from the fact we've conceded 3 goals, which will no doubt lead to people saying we should have improved the defence further. I will talk about potentially what happened in another video coming up soon as to why we haven't strengthened more. There'll be question marks maybe over that, and there's good reason for it. It essentially means that we didn't have enough good players to buy. There just weren't options. I don't know why I tried to do that as if I was a ventriloquist. All right, time is ticking away here. There is literally 3 minutes of normal time, and what do you do? I want to kind of bring my D's on, but everyone in the forward areas is playing pretty well. It's at the back in which we're having the problems. What do you do? Do you do anything here? It's a bit... this is curious. I'm going to make Obranek slightly more attacking. I think that's all we'll do. Same with Van den Bosch. Late doors, we're going to try and keep these boys forward. There's a chance. It's Stoke corner. I'm already nervous as that goes past the post. 5 minutes of added time. Jimenez. It's a chance for Thames. Herzog. Go on, Owen. He's done it. Herzog's come on and made the difference. And that is fascinating because a goal he scored previously, this other goal he scored for Thames was very much similar to that. I'll have to show you it, actually, just so you can see the comparison. Jimenez plays it back to Herzog. He goes in the opposite corner to the previous goal, bangs it in, and it's Thames 4, Stoke 3. What a turnaround. This game isn't quite done yet. Minute and a half to go. Is there another goal in the game? Thames, though, I tell you what, we've been rolling in this second half. It looked really good. I said there's going to have to be more goals if we're to get back in this, and more goals have been delivered. Let's look at the possession play from Thames now. Herzog has changed the game for us as the ball goes forward, and Signey gets on it, though, and just see this out, boys, please. Nothing foolish. About a minute to go. Hold on here. Pierre finds Van den Bosch, who's in this advanced area. Ball played in. Ben-Hur's there, and he should have scored. We've hit the woodwork 3 times, 5 half chances. I mean, we've been absolutely dominant. Van den Bosch to Jimenez. Is there still a goal in this? We're still pushing forward. We're still pressing forward. Obranek's there. We've hit the post. What is happening today? And with time ticking away, the referee surely is going to call this, right? Yes, the keeper's up. Oh my God, their keeper's up. Can we get this clear immediately and not have anything ridiculous happen? The keeper's nearly on it. What is going on? I mean, Stoke continuing to press forward. Antonio's there. And that's the game then. Thames 4, Stoke 3. Welcome back to another season of Thames, viewers. What a game. What a game. Passionately say then, well done, lads, a good win for us. Before we go, I just want to show you that Herzog goal that he scored in a previous game. We should have started with him. I mean, it's obvious now. We should have started with him. Franklin's out injured, tight calf for a few games. Okay, let's get to it. I'm only showing you really because I'm interested to see if it becomes a theme, but you can see Franklin plays it back to him and he just bangs it in. That could be his thing. Herzog. Maxim Herzog. I love it. All right, then, that is going to bring us to the end of today's episode. We are top of the table alongside Blackburn and Chelsea, all on 9 points. Their goal difference slightly better than ours, though. And yeah, terrific start. I'll join you then some further part into the future. Well, maybe that Blackburn game. We'll see how they've done comparatively. Admittedly, there's loads of games in between that. But as I say, I want to move through the season a little quicker. If it gets more interesting towards the end, of course, we'll slow it down a little bit. But Blackburn and maybe either Hull or Reading, we'll see either side, and I'll join you for it next time. If you enjoyed today's episode, though, do leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to let me know what you think of the transfers, the comment section is the place to do it. Or on Twitter, at Dr. Benji, or in the Discord. There's links to all down below. We're not with care. It's Benji. Goodbye. Ha! What a game! What a game! And before we go, thank you to everyone on Patreon for the support. It's unbelievable. It's continual and unbelievable, and I appreciate it massively. It makes my heart warm.